Good morning, folks. Today's album is James Taylor, Mudslide Slim. This is his third album. Came out in 1971. This album has the hit song You've Got a Friend on it. It's also got a beautiful ballad in You Can Close Your Eyes, and other great songs that were covered by other artists such as Linda Ronstadt. Hey Mister, That's Me Up on the Jukebox. There's a lot of nice tracks on here. I like Mudslide Slim because it's just a nice funky track. And it also has a complete list of liner notes, which means you can read that bass player Leland Sklar is playing on this. This was actually the start of Leland Sklar's long session career, which is still ongoing. He's been on thousands of records and hundreds of hit songs and quite a number of TV show themes that you've probably heard. Things like Hill Street Blues. Joni Mitchell does a lot of background vocals on this because she and James were dating or an item at the time. This is a very solid, very nice James album, and it came right after Sweet Baby James, which came after his start at Apple Music, listen to me, at Apple Records, when he made this in 1968. This is another great gatefold. It's like 20-year-old James meeting the world for the first time, really, with the handwritten lyrics on the inside, and a lot of help from the Beatles on this album, as a matter of fact. And it also has something in the way she moves, which ended up being inspirational to George Harrison a little later on, who had his own famous song come from it. So after that album came the Sweet Baby James album, which has Fire and Rain on it. As a matter of fact, they saw fit to put it right on the cover by this time. This must be a reissue. This is another fine record. After Mudslide, James put out One Man Dog, which was recorded at his house in Martha's Vineyard. Now, it's not always a good idea to just do all your recording at a house that you own if you don't have the discipline. Put it this way, it's an okay record, but there's 17 or 18 tracks on it. They're all a little on the short side. Few of them actually make up a real song. It's really more moods, I would say. And then after that, Walking Man came out, which was not a particularly strong record. Didn't chart well. So James's fortunes were not looking very good at this point. It looked like he might be something of a flash in the pan. Until Gorilla came out in 1975, which had the hit songs Mexico, great track, and also How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. This is a great album, I think. I really enjoy this one. This is the first one I really enjoyed after Mudslide. Album after that was In the Pocket. By the way, a lot of the same guys are on here, and I should have mentioned, actually, with Mudslide, the beginning of Mudslide, we started having the session group called The Section, which is what James referred to them as, and that would include Leland Sklar, Russ Kunkel, Waddy Watchel, and in this case, David Lindley, who we actually talked about on one of my other channels last month when he passed away. So after that, he switched labels. The big Greatest Hits album came out, which has sold about 12 million copies, and he put this out, and this has Handyman on it, which was the big hit at the time. Overall, a very strong record. Followed by Flag, which not as strong, still pretty interesting. There's actually some cringeworthy moments on here, like his version of Day Tripper is not very good, but he also did Up on the Roof, which is not bad, I must say. I kind of like that song. Overall, I like this record. It's just some of them I just kind of shake my head. Yeah. Apparently, I don't have everything here. The one after that was the one that had Her Town 2 on it. It was Dad Loves His Work. That was the Divorce album from Carly Simon, when he realized that he really just wanted to be on tour and writing music and wasn't really fit yet to be a stay-at-home dad. Well, props to him for figuring that out. It's too bad it took a little time. I guess sometimes you just have to have some experience before you can know for sure whether you're ready for something. And the last one that I have is That's Why I'm Here, which came out in 1985, has the title track. There's a great song on here called Only a Dream in Rio, which often gets stuck in my head. But he was still writing good material. Of course, by this time, you see, he's not quite the same hippie guy that he was when he started. You know, no more long hair, no more brooding. He seems to have settled in to an existence of selling fewer albums, but having a very secure niche of kind of the softer rock singer-songwriter material that he was still doing at this point. Now, since then, he's only put out, I think, 4 or 5 albums of new original material, and that was nearly 40 years ago. He put out quite a nice catalog of work in the 70s, late 60s, early mid-80s, and that's fine. You know, you get to a point sometimes in your life you just don't want to write anymore. You're like, you know, I'm too darn happy. In James' case, he had kicked his drug habit, he'd gone through his divorce, and he was in a better place, you know, and power to him. So that's it. I just thought it would be fun to take a look at James Taylor's career. He also has a connection with Paul Pina, for those of you that have been following this channel for a while, in that they both were at a songwriters workshop at the Newport Folk Festival in 1969. So I hope that I've encouraged you to maybe take a good look at James Taylor's catalog from the 70s. It's pretty strong. It's pretty good feeling. For the most part, he sounds sane and like he's having a good time and like he's trying to spread that good time to us. And I can respect that more and more as I get older and start sharing his hairline. You know, I had I had long hair too as a young man. What are you going to do? You're going to adapt. So that's it. I hope I've inspired you to go check out some James Taylor this morning. Have a great day, folks.